Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you as always by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda podcast for Tuesday, the 29th of October.
The Agenda podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
And a big good morning to G Lane.
Morning.
First time you slept in your own bed last night in about a week?
Yes, I felt like I've been on the road for quite some time, but after our wee little escapades around Coromandel and Bay of Plenty, I just went straight to the Rotorua region.
We did the split parent drop-off pickup at the BP in Hamilton.
Yeah, no talking. No discussions between the two cars. You just drop the son off, i.e. me, threw the bags out the back and you just left.
Yeah, and I gave a death stare to your wife in the thing. Sent her a passag message as you guys drove off that I knew would just drive her insane.
Yeah, you did actually.
And yeah, that's
so
how
you said, I think it was something like he hasn't got enough underwear.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
What happens to all the socks I bought him last week?
Yeah, that really set her off.
They were quite expensive and you haven't chipped in for any of it. By the way, school fees are due. Yeah. So all very well and good that you're going to go swanning off down to Rotorua or wherever you were. But there's real life parenting to be done here and you're not doing it. Where did you go?
You went to Rotorua.
Yeah.
We had a family reunion of sorts. It was would have been my grandmother's 100th birthday.
Oh, wow.
So got together the family of that side of the family and they all got together. It was good. It was good. The weather was good on Sunday, just knocked around, drank heaps of beers.
Oh, great.
And yeah, a few inappropriate uncles turned up. Dropped a few bombshells on a few conversations. Haven't changed much.
Wouldn't be a family reunion without a dodgy uncle.
Yeah. The dodgy uncle, though, is the son of what we used to call Uncle Jerry the Lip Kisser, who's no longer with us.
I've heard of
Uncle Jerry the Lip Kisser used to come in for the lip kiss with all the girls, at Christmas time when you come in and you only do it once, apparently, and then after that you go in and you dummy to the right and make him force to kiss you on the cheek. But we never used to tell any newcomers and just watch them get lip kissed by Uncle Jerry. Anyway, this is the son of Uncle Jerry's who dropped a couple of massive clangers around Tinder. Let's just say his nickname at the end of the day was 20 Cums.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. No, I like that. I like not telling people about things like that. Like I think one of my cousins was bringing a parka partner around to our quarters place for the first time, and they said, "Look, whatever you do, you've got to make sure you're honging him as soon as you get in there." And so this dude comes up the driveway, just goes straight in for the hongy. My quarter was like, "Whoa, not that kind of Mary." The poor dude got stitched up. My friends did it to one of their mates when I went over to stay with them in Dubai. They had an Irish friend. They were like, "Manaia's coming to stay with us. It's massively insensitive if you don't hongy him when you meet him."
Oh my God, that's so good.
And actually, he's going to love it if you hongy him first. But the problem is they told me about it, and so I was like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to be part of this. And this guy walked into the room and just froze with horror when he saw me because he was in two minds about committing to the hongy or not. He was like, which one of these two is going to offend him, doing it or not doing it? So yeah, I love stitching people up at the Christmas. Christmas would be a good time to do it. Too.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be seeing any of their protagonists for quite some time, so it's quite good. Anyway.
Let's talk about the Black Caps.
Yeah, oh my God, I got my shirt on.
Yep.
Who would have thunked this, man? 2-0 in Sri Lanka, thrashed in Sri Lanka. Thrashed.
Right, yeah.
And going into a 3-match test series in India, we've only ever won 2 games before that, ever. And now they've basically sewn up the series 2-0.
That's
they
incredible.
had won every single session, I think, bar one of these 2 test matches.
Yeah.
I think India have massively underestimated the Black Caps and came in with an attitude of, meh.
Yeah.
I reckon even after they lost that first test.
Yes.
They were like, well, whatever, we'll fucking thrash them in the next 2.
Even coming out to bat in the second innings of the second test, they were hitting sixes in the first over.
Yeah.
They thought they were going to win.
I was pretty astounded by it, and the level of arrogance is next level. And do you know what? And I love just winding up the Indian cricket fans because they're getting absolutely teed off online because they can't come in with anything anymore.
No,
they come in with something else.
We own
bullshit. Them. They come in around with something else. We're current world test champions, whatever.
But when we won it, they said it doesn't count.
Yeah, because they went in the final.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they were in the final. That's right. No, because it didn't count for some reason because Australia got docked points for a slow over rate. Anyway, so at an absolute purple patch for New Zealand cricket.
It's ridiculous. I mean, New Zealand sport in general, and we'll get to the rest of that stuff as well, but that first one, you could have potentially said a fluke. Maybe because of that first innings 46.
Yeah.
Which is such an anomaly.
And the pitch was juicy, it was undercover for a few days.
It was weird.
Sure, yeah.
This second one, what are they going to say about that?
Turning after 45 minutes, it was turning.
Yes.
Not just turning, it was turning sharply after 45 minutes of day one.
Yeah. And they had 5 spinners.
I just love the fact, and I mentioned it last week, and we could go back over the tapes. My hope to all hopes was that they'd produce a dust bowl and it would backfire, and it fucking did.
That's exactly what happened.
Suck on that.
While we're going back in time, I would like to issue an apology. For the longest time now, I've been saying Mitch Santner, great bowler, I love him, one of our best. He's not a spin bowler. Because it doesn't turn. Turns out he just needed the right pitch.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned that he would be also, I think we should go back to the tapes as well, that he's the tallest of all the spinners. He potentially varies his pace the most out of all of them.
Oh, wildly.
And that's what matters over there. That's what Ravi Ashwin does.
Yes.
And there's that massive hot take from Ian Smith. He wrote online saying he's not a test cricketer. He offers nothing.
He's not a threat in test cricket.
And then he turns around and gets 14 wickets.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. I've got some stats if you'd like to be bored to tears. 18, that is the number of consecutive test series wins for India at home before this.
Suck it.
No other team had won more than 10 successive test series at home. India's previous series defeat came against England in 2012. That is New Zealand's Test Series win, is their first on Indian soil. Before this series, New Zealand had only won 2 tests all up in India, in Nagpur in 1969 and Wankhede in 1988. 3 is the number of New Zealand players with 6 or more wicket hauls in each innings of a test match, which obviously Santner did.
Yep.
Richard Hadley and Dan Vettori being the other 2. 13 for 157 is what Santner finished with for the match. In Pune, the third best figures for the Black Caps in tests. Hadley took 15 for 123 against Australia in 1985, and just 3 years ago, Ajaz Patel claimed 14 for 225 at Wankhede as the third best match figures by any bowler in a men's test against India, behind Ajaz and Beefy Botham's 13 for 103. So there's some numbers.
Good. And you know what? They get to go into the third test with no pressure.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, and I look, now I'm just jumping on the Black Caps winning bandwagon, but I think without any pressure on their shoulders, they can go into this freewheeling. India have got pride to play for. They have to win this test, or they're going to have to seriously start getting a personal trainer and working these fatties a little bit.
That is potentially, I think I don't know if they weigh cricket players, but they would be the highest BMI, collective BMI.
They wouldn't want to play rugby against them. That's for sure. Maybe the only other team that would be threatening would be Australia, because that has got tall timber.
Yeah.
And they're quite muscular. You wouldn't want Stoinis coming off a short ball at you.
Yeah. Windies, if they got hold of it.
Yeah, that's true. Or you wouldn't want Rakeem Cornwall coming at you off the back fence. Jesus.
No, although I reckon he's probably the only cricketer I could step. No, yeah, we were talking about this on the Jerry and Friends show this morning, which was jam-packed with friends this morning.
Oh, has he got more friends?
Yeah, there's me in there.
Oh,
and, Taylor Curtis from Crowd Goes Wild, she was in there as well.
Yep.
And Mash and Ruta, so the full complement.
Jeez. But there's some old friends in there, though.
Yeah.
There's no new friends, is there?
Well, Taylor.
Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, Taylor's a new friend. I forgot what I was going to say. We were talking about, what way do you think the Black Caps go into this next game? Do they go, fuck it, we've already won the series, chuck it in neutral? Or or do they go, let's put the foot to the throat, 3-0, whitewash?
I think it's somewhere in between.
Yeah, right.
It's somewhere in between where there's absolutely no pressure on them to win or lose. They can go into this game with so much confidence and freedom that the Indians do not have. They are up against it. Their media's laying into them. Fans are probably going to start to lay into them.
Yeah.
So
they'll be burning effigies.
They will be, and this is ideal for New Zealand. They can come in freewheeling. It's a little bit of both. I mean, I don't think they'll take the foot off the throat.
No.
But they can quite happily take a few risks.
Yep.
Because it doesn't matter.
No, and I was saying, I don't know how many dudes we took over there. Would we have taken 13, 14 players?
Yeah, I think 15 in the squad.
15? Play those 4 dudes that didn't get a run. I reckon the biggest Liam Lawson middle finger to India and just be like, you know what? We don't think you guys have got it.
I was talking about it, but there was touch last night, and we were talking about it, and we were saying, what's the most insulting thing we can do? And that would be bowl everyone and reverse the order, both innings.
Yeah.
So everyone gets a bowl, everyone gets the wicket keep. Maybe we do where you circle around and you change the gears.
Leave the gloves there.
You leave the gloves there. Everyone moves around a position and bowls.
Yeah.
Batting, reverse the order, just total chaos.
Opening the batting is Punisher O'Rourke.
Yeah, and Tim Southey.
And Tim Southey.
Oh no, Ajaz Patel.
Ajaz probably go for 50.
Yeah, there you go.
And then opening the bowling, please welcome Tom Latham. And he'll be wicket keeping to himself.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
So no, it'll be very interesting to see how that pans out. Kicks off Friday at Wankiti, and obviously we've got a pretty good record at Wankiti. Our first ever Test win was there.
Yep. Ajaz's Tenfer was there.
Ajaz's Tenfer was at Wankiti.
Wankiti's the spiritual home of New Zealand's overseas cricket exploits.
Yeah, well, and even though we got thrashed by an innings, I think, in that Test, and with Ajaz got 10, that's going to be great to watch because it just shows I mean, when it comes down to it, they'll say now, this will be their excuse, the Indian cricket team. Their focus is on the Australian series coming up. That is the true test. That'll be it. That'll be it. Because I know, exactly.
I know, you're right. They will say that.
Yeah.
They'll be like, we're worried about the World Test Championship. Because I think we basically need to go undefeated for the remainder of this period.
Yes, we do.
To make the final.
I think we're out after losing those 2 in Sri Lanka, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think we needed to win a majority of these tests. So
the advantage for us, though, and this is where it's backfired on India, to a degree, or it could, is that because it's win percentage and they play way more than anyone else.
Yeah.
So if we go on a little bit of a winning streak, our percentage shoots up way more than theirs does.
Yeah, if we beat England 3-0 in November, December.
I think we're there.
I think, maybe in the conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, if you probably wanted to hear better analysis, I'd tune into the BYC podcast with Cleaver and Ford. Yeah. Not so much Foyt. But Cleaver and Ford will definitely give you probably a better insight in what needs to be done.
Yeah. One thing we can lean into or offer a bit of insight into is how hard do you think they hit their piss after that win?
Hard. And you know what? God bless them. Obviously, a social media ban was put in place.
Haven't seen anything.
Yeah, correct.
And they wouldn't have been able to leave the hotel, right?
Not really. I don't think there's no point in doing that. There's no like clubs or anything you can go to. Usually the hotels have quite good bars.
Because you get swamped.
Yeah, they usually they party but celebrate in the changing room for quite a long period of time and then move back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Unlike the Wellington Lions, whose social media lit up with celebrations, which I thought were pretty epic.
Let's take a quick break and we'll come back and talk about that. NPC final over the weekend. Was the curse broken? We'll be right back. Well, it took overtime to decide the National Provincial Championship winner and subsequently the Agenda podcast curse.
Has been ended.
It's been lifted.
Great.
Brad Shield, we gave him the motivation that he needed to win the NPC. And you could see it was evident. Every run he took, he was massive. He was giving the boys another dressing down in the second half.
Yeah.
The game went to overtime, which there were bodies all over the floor in overtime. The dudes just gassed, weren't expecting it. Officially, the podcast now can, without guilt, request players to come on the podcast who have sporting fixtures that weekend.
Yeah, that's good. And also, can I just say congratulations to our audience or whoever it was that gave us the hot oil on Hika Elliott. I think we may have been the first media outlet to break the news or the rumour. Yeah, Hika Elliott had been moved into the Lions squad and he ended up playing a good chunk of the game.
Yeah, what a wild week it was for Hika Elliott. So to rewind the clock, he wasn't even in the Mackenzie team to start the club rugby season.
Yeah.
He just moved to the region. Then he plays a few games in the South Canterbury competition for Mackenzie. He gets called into the Heartland squad at the end of that, and so now he's playing for South Canterbury. All of a sudden he gets thrust into the first loss in 5 years. Then his season's over. 2 weeks later, he gets the phone call from Wellington saying, can you come and play in the NPC final? He'd never won the NPC before. Hika Elliott. His was one of those careers, I think, where he was basically Chiefs All Blacks or Chiefs Māori All Blacks, so he never got to play in it. And then all of a sudden, within a week, he goes from back to work in the off-season of the Heartland to all of a sudden standing on the dais at the what is it called? Wellington Regional Park.
Oh, no, Sky Stadium.
And accepting the National Provincial Championship.
Yeah, well, I think surely he'd give a big FU to Dane Coles, because that's the reason he was there, because Dane Coles gave it the big nah.
I did try and get Hick Elliott on the show, and I will persist with trying to get him on throughout the week, but obviously the media manager was like, I don't even have his number. Like, I don't know how to get hold of him. He showed up on Tuesday. But Brad Shields, when we had him on the podcast last Wednesday, we said, have you seen him around? Well, Hick Elliott was interviewed after the game, and he said that he was there on, I think, Tuesday. So Brad Shields had seen him at that point.
Yeah, right. Well, he didn't. He said, I can't confirm or deny.
Yeah,
didn't
that's
he?
right.
So,
but
I
he
don't
knew.
blame him. But great. What a final. I had money on Bay Plenty, unfortunately. I went with my heart, not my head, on that front. But cracking game. Cricket, so tight. Two great teams.
Overtime, there was a missed penalty that could have won it.
Yeah.
There was all sorts.
And Duplessis Karifi, his celebrations with the NPC trophy, as he got it from the stage and he ran it up to the group and he thrust it so hard the lid popped off.
Yeah.
And that lid didn't look overly light. And I thought it was going to take someone out. It flew off like a silver frisbee.
Yeah.
If that had sliced someone open, that would have been even better. But it was absolutely fucking pissing with rain by the end. But the celebrations were next level. It was great to see, actually. I think it was almost more euphoric than anything I've seen in Super Rugby.
Oh, definitely.
Those guys. They went hard. Back to the changing rooms. There was some more great videos of them just dancing in the changing rooms. Hopefully the Bay of Plenty boys went and joined them eventually, but I'm sure they did.
I'd say they would have. They were talking about they didn't want to organise like their own piss up for afterwards. They were a little bit worried about getting ahead of themselves and blah, blah, blah. But then, like Brad Shields was saying, it's like, if you win the bloody NPC, you go down the waterfront there in Wellington, who's going to not let you in?
Correct.
They'll be clamouring over themselves to get you in there. So I imagine it was a great celebration. And I know that it was because we haven't been able to get anyone on this morning. I did hit up their media manager, but no one was available. But I will try and get Hicko on later on. That lid come flying off. He picked it up, and all the photos are of him holding the lid.
So it looks like he won the plate?
Yeah, someone else holding the trophy. The All Blacks played over the weekend as well. And actually, NPC was kind of a curtain raiser to this.
Yeah, it was a bit of a scary start, wasn't it? The Japanese scored first, and they scored another quick try, and then it was tit for tat.
Yeah.
And I remember I was at the family reunion, and there was a lot of farmers in my family, and they were all standing around like, they're buggered, mate. Or is gone, mate.
Yeah.
Or is gone. And I was like, they'll put 50 on them. Like you just wait. And then sure enough, they all started putting money on Japan, and then as per they kind of went out to a pretty unassailable lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a scary start though.
Yeah.
The All Blacks conceded first, and I think there was another try that was called back. Their lock.
Yes.
It was like a charge down sort of. No, he smashed D-Mac and then got the ball, kicked it away, outran everyone.
Yeah.
And then scored, but turned out he'd knocked it on.
Yeah, that was the turning point when my Uncle Rod said, if they'd scored that, mate, it would have been different. I was like,
I don't think it would have. Like, that was a freak try.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you watch that game, and even though the start of it was tense, you couldn't have fucking pushed that back a week or said no to whatever paycheck they offered you and let those boys play in the NPC final.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
I quite liked the start of the NPC, though. That 4 o'clock kickoff was perfect.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that afternoon kind of buzz that gave. But I don't think that's going to mean anything for this weekend's test against England.
No, it means nothing.
A lot of those players aren't going to be in the squad or starting 15. D-Mac let me down a little bit, mainly because I had a lot riding on him in terms of my three-way and a couple of my multis, because
I followed you in on that.
I got sucked into your, minnow smasher, minnow beater.
Yeah.
But he just didn't have the greatest of games, unfortunately.
Well, also playing at first five as well. It's more from like fullback that he slices those teams up.
Yeah, okay. You could have told me that last week.
Well, look, I followed it in myself as well. So, but we did smash the minnows. Yeah, I'm with you as well. I don't. What can you read into that bugger all?
Yeah, and England.
Great trip to Japan.
I think we'll beat England this weekend. I know we'll review it obviously closer to the time, but I think we'll beat England. The they're a young team. I mean, I know we only just beat them over here, but that was the start of the season.
And also they were checked out.
Yeah, they were checked. I think we'll beat England, and I think the next two against France and Ireland are going to be super spicy.
Yeah.
They could go either way, those two.
Ireland would be great. I think everyone's got that one.
Oh, man, so good. Especially all the shit talking that's coming with Johnny Sexpest and everyone else.
Yeah, 100%. They've got to acknowledge Johnny Sexton in some way beforehand.
Yeah.
Like walk him out onto the pitch. He could bring the tea out or something, do the coin toss.
That'd be good.
Yeah. And we should give Rico Ioane the captain's armband for the weekend so he can go out and do the coin toss. That'd be powerful. The other sporting news across the weekend, the Kiwis got blown off the park in the second half of that game.
Yeah.
It was tough. I was in on the three-way. That was my leg, was that we were going to beat the Aussies. I just felt like it meant a bit more to us. And when we talked to Carl on Friday from the TAB, he said his worry was around the centres. And could we defend in the centres against like every superstar fullback from the NRL, which makes up the Australian backline? And in the end, we couldn't. That's what undid us. It wasn't a hiding. And the first half was quite close, but it was just in that second half, too many superstar players in their back line. And once we started getting a little bit, tired around the edges, she was all over.
Yeah. I thought it was going to go our way when I saw the weather forecast. It just about snowed on the captain's run. And that's when I thought, part of me was like, dingoes will be hating this.
That's right.
But then I was like, half our team are dingoes.
Yeah, that is a good point.
They're not used to the cold either.
That's
It's not like it's 13 West Coasters
No.
up against 13 Gold Coasters. You know what I mean? It was.
Yeah.
So that, I kind of backfired on me. I went, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So that was a shame. But they'll make the final, won't they? The Kiwis. It'll be a Kiwi-Aussie final again. Is that how it works?
We've got our second game this weekend at Mount Smart Stadium.
Tonga?
Against Manaia Tonga. If you're looking to drive anywhere on Saturday, do it in the morning because the motorways will be closed from Saturday afternoon. If you haven't, I know people have seen the social media stuff, but to live in the city when the Tongan League fans get up and about, it brings the city to its knees.
And it doesn't help that they drive with their Tongan flag over their windscreen.
Yeah.
And they're just, the cars are weaving all over the road, massive convoys. There's some weird engineering on top of vans where they kind of engineer their van to take a minimum 28 flags on the roof rack.
Very flag-based.
Yes, very flag-based. But great, though. So passionate.
Yeah. And just good to see people doing something,
Yeah.
You never see Kiwi League fans doing that. So, they watch out. And if you are in the business of selling flags, God bless you and enjoy the fruits of your labours this weekend. Liam Lawson, he flipped the bird at old Sergio Perez as he overtook him. I fucking love this.
Say old Chico, and if you don't know motor games, the rumour is that he is up against, because he's saying that old Checo Perez is underperforming, and he is. He's got exactly the same car as Verstappen, but he's remarkably worse in performance.
And they're in the same team, right? Him and Verstappen?
Yeah. So the argument is that the kind of, what was it called? The Racing Bulls, which is the one with Liam Lawson in it and Shinoda. One of those two will potentially, or someone else random, might go in for the seat of Perez next year.
So potentially it's Liam Lawson versus Perez for the seat in the Red Bull team next year.
Correct. Hence they had a bit of a to-do on the course. And as he overtook him on fresh tyres, he flicked him the bird.
Yeah.
Obviously a little bit of tension here. I love the fact that Liam Lawson has come in giving no fucks. The week before, he's pissed off Fernando Alonso, almost the Komatua of the pit lane, and just said, fuck you, mate, whatever. Yeah. And he's given the bird to his biggest rival, and Sergio Perez, who's won quite a few Formula One races. He's won none. I love it. He's come in with just that fuck you attitude.
How good must that feel? Because if you ever get stuck behind a slow driver and then you drive past them, the instinct is to give them the fucking bird.
It's quite difficult to do in that little cockpit as well. Did you notice how
to reach across himself?
Yeah, to reach across and just kind of do a side on like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't know I'm pretty sure Perez wouldn't have seen it because you're going that fast and someone's doing a chubby little chode finger out the window. But then the camera behind him picked it up and it's all over social media. Good on you, Liam Lawson. You can't be a nice guy.
No.
And this kind of shit. It's fucking ruthless.
Yeah. Now, he came out and apologised afterwards, Liam Lawson did.
Yeah.
Said, sorry, it's not in my nature, it's not who I am, I let myself down, blah, 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 blah. I feel like he was forced to. Should he have apologised?
I don't know. He's probably just gone back and go, look, heat of the moment stuff.
I think once you've done that, you've had a run-in with old Alonso, then the next week you're pulling the fingers at someone. I think you've just got to go full WWE heel and just go, fuck everyone. Yeah, I'll pull the fingers at the next dude that I overtake as well.
I don't think you want to be the most hated on the grid, though, because there is a lot of shit that goes on during qualifying and practice that can hinder, if everyone hates you. I think there was an old English driver who was such a fucking liability and he'd crash into everyone. Everyone hated him. I can't remember his name. But he just got forced out because people would just slow him down on his laps and everything because he was just such a fuckwit. Yeah. Okay. So you don't want to be a massive fuckwit, I think. But I don't think him fighting with Alonso would have... No. Everyone thinks Alonso's this grumpy old fucking boomer anyway.
And also having a bit of a back and forth in pit lane after a race. That's part of the course, isn't it?
Totally. And also, technically, old mate came out, Horner came out and said, look, we're separate teams. I'm not going to comment on that team. They're in the same team. They're pretty much the same franchise.
Yes, but why I find that interesting is that he said that is because he doesn't want to publicly reprimand Liam Lawson because he knows he might have to promote him next year, or there could be something going on there. So he can't come out and say, yeah, he was wrong for that, blah, blah, blah. Because what if he turns out to be the fastest driver of all time? So there's a bit of something there, and I'm talking about fucking motor games. So
no, look at that. Who would have thought? In the end, Lawson, he got his fucking front nose cut off by Calapinto, another up-and-coming driver for Williams, and so he was around the 12th mark. He was never getting the points, but he got his nose swiped off, ended up coming 16th.
Yeah.
But it's got New Zealanders interested in Formula One, like you're saying. Yeah. You're talking about motor games.
Yeah.
Who would have fucking thought that?
I know, exactly. I love it. I love them.
Also, apologies to my Uncle Roger. I introduced him to the TAB. May be the end of him. He got his bonus bet for depositing money, and he said, I'm loving the Formula One, and I said there's some juicy odds on Liam Lawson being top 6. He came 9th last time, so he piled all his bonus cash on there, and then he absolutely bailed me up when he came 16. He was like, what are you fucking doing? I was like, yeah. So sorry, Uncle Rog.
Yeah. Gamble responsibly.
Yeah, responsibly, don't let it take over your life.
Don't follow Lane's tips.
Correct.
Silver Ferns also won the Constellation Cup for just the third time after beating Australia's 61-43 in the third test of the series over there in Perth. It is also the first time since 2006 that the Silver Ferns have beaten the Diamonds 3 games in a row. Suck it.
What is up with New Zealand coming into competition sucking and then overperforming? Because they came into this having lost to the England Roses quite... not convincingly, but they lost both test matches. The White Ferns coming into a World Cup 10-0. The Black Caps coming into India 2-0 in Sri Lanka and just carving up.
It's just, you know what it is? It's ticket. Because they're not changing these teams. These are the same girls that played in the last series. Yeah. The Black Caps are the same team that played against Sri Lanka. The White Ferns didn't make any changes, and everyone was slagging them off for not making any changes. Yeah. They're like, no, I reckon we can do this. We just got to fucking give it heaps, and we'll win. And that's what's been happening.
Good on them.
It's good old-fashioned ticket. You can't coach ticket.
You can't coach fucking ticket.
You cannot coach ticket, and the Silver Ferns have it. Thrash the Diamonds. I mean, give them a taste. Yep. This has been back-to-back incredible weekends for New Zealand sport.
Scratch the Kiwis.
Scratch the Kiwis off. They'll thrash Tonga next week. Auckland FC as well. By the way, the great weekend. And the Phoenix. So the Phoenix win. Auckland FC win. The top of the A-League table is now Auckland FC, then the Phoenix.
Yeah, and there's a derby this weekend.
In Wellington.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be good. And then did you see what they did? The Wellington Phoenix flew the little Cessna over.
I did.
Yeah, I messaged someone within Auckland FC, and I was like, you going to put up with this shit?
Yeah.
And their response was, we got more than a fucking Cessna. So I was like, ooh, spicy. They flew a little Cessna over that had a sign saying New Zealand bleeds yellow.
New Zealand is yellow.
Oh, yeah, New Zealand is yellow.
Idea, 10 out of 10. Execution, probably about a 6 or a 7.
Yes, I think they could have come up with a better slogan than that. Should have just said something like, see you in Wellington. Or, see you next week.
Yeah.
Good luck. Something like that.
Something ominous.
Yeah.
Or they could have carpet bombed Mount Smart Stadium with Phoenix jerseys.
or yellow and black dye. Just I don't know.
Bit of a flyover.
Or sent 100 Phoenix fans to the ground in Phoenix kit. Shit like, I don't know. It was
a good idea, but the execution, when you read it, you're like, what? New Zealand is yellow? Why is it? When has it been?
No.
First of all, New Zealand is black, and second of all, it's green. And where does yellow fit in?
So Yeah, I don't know about that. I feel like potentially.
Silver.
Do you think that was an Auckland, Wellington, Phoenix fan?
Yeah.
And went out to Ardmore and goes, "Oh, just can you do this?" Because it's only about $700 to do that.
Oh, is it actually?
Yeah, to fly that banner around.
Why aren't we doing it?
Well, Kate Britton out here works for Hodaka. She's obsessed with it. Remember, she flew it around for the Matt and Jerry's Daffodil Day thing.
They took a billboard down south as well, and for some reason there was a banner attached to that. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's pretty cost effective.
Okay. Well, we should be doing that at every cricket game this summer.
Just
the Agenda podcast. Text Agenda to 3236. Or we should just have listen live now. The ACC. Text ACC to 3236.
Because you know the cameraman's going to zoom in on it.
No, the thing is, to that extent, they will, but the director will be in the truck going,
Absolutely not.
absolutely not doing that one. Nope.
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 We should do it in Australia because they won't know what that is.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they'll be like, Smithy, what's this all about? Oh, they're just some bloody idiots.
He still has to explain the captain's hats, and he tried to explain the beige shirts. There's a whole lot of people, and he's like, they call themselves the Beige Brigade. He wouldn't give them anything.
He hates it, but he also, if you watch any video that he puts up when he does his radio show, there's one on his counter behind him.
Okay.
So
A steady the ship hat or a
steady the ship? It might be an off-brand captain's hat, but it's an homage.
Okay.
All right, if you haven't heard already, Auto Trader want you to tell New Zealand about your car. And here at the Alternative Commentary Collective, we are dangerously close to taking the lead here. We're getting ready to sell our 98 Falcon Ute on Auto Trader. Everywhere we go, people are asking us, how do we buy this thing? We want to bloody, the guy who we got it off wants it back.
He did. He sold us for $1. And then he asked us, hey, can I get it back?
Yeah, like, yes, you can. Here's your opportunity. Hit up Auto Trader in November. So I think it's next week.
Friday. This Friday. November the 1st. Yep.
This thing goes live. This is going to be an auction, so you can chuck your bid in there. There are thousands of dollars worth of goodies. Keep your eye out on social media. We'll let you know what that stuff is. A lot of people have donated stuff for us to give away with this because all of the proceeds go directly to Movember.
Yep.
So you get to tell your partner that you've made a charitable donation to the Movember Men's Health Charity.
Yep.
And there may be a 98 Falcon Ute parked in the driveway.
Yeah, and just to clarify, this is not tax deductible. The money we make from it, we then gift to charity. It's not the purchase of. So just so you know, just thinking if there's some corporate out there who goes, I'll buy it, and then we'll write it off as
legally
tax deductible.
Legally not a donation.
Yeah. No, it's you're buying a car, then the money comes to us, and then we donate
We make ourselves look good by donating.
Correct.
Morally, you've donated to charity.
Morally, you've won.
Don't get yourself into trouble with the IRD and then come crying to us.
Correct. That's what I was getting to.
Because we'll take the ute back.
Yeah.
All right, let's take one last quick break and we'll come back with yours, please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
I actually think we've got quite a few today.
We didn't take them last week, did we, on the road?
No, we didn't. How many are we talking in? 4, 5, 6, 7?
Ooh,
7.
7, jeez. Okay.
Let's see how fast through these we get. All right, first caller, yours, please.
G'day, mate. Just listening to the potty and was thinking about what the guy said the other day about you guys aren't doing any commentary for the cricket, and then Manaia said, it's too expensive. I think if you guys could go on holiday and just piss up, I think you got enough money or sponsorships that you could surely commentate. We need you fellas there. We miss you.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Please come back, please.
It's not your fault.
Yeah, it's like if you want to peek behind the curtain, it's actually a rights issue.
Yeah.
And we can't do the overseas games.
It's not that we can't afford it.
Nah. Well, we could afford it, but it would be very expensive to do the overseas games. We don't have the rights. So any game that's played in New Zealand,
we have the rights.
Both rugby and cricket, we have the rights for. So that's why we do all that commentary for that. Occasionally, we'll get a World Cup under our belt, like the T20 we just did recently. But not so much that any tours that are overseas. So there you go.
No.
Sorry about that.
It's out of our hands. And in our defence, last week, were we in the Coromandel for 3 days of glorious sunshine? Yeah, we were. Did we tuck into a few Export Ultras while we were there? Sue us. We were there for work, All right? That wasn't a holiday. G Lane lost a pair of undies on that trip.
I did.
I lost a pair of undies on that trip.
Yeah, RIP.
That was work. So, if we enjoy our work, so be it. You know what I mean? Another call here. Yours, please.
Manaia, just watching ACC does go 2 halves. Just wondering, Maybe charades, whoever's doing it should be wearing a ball gag. Just an idea. Just because there's so much talking, it's not really charades anymore. Fuck South Canterbury.
Yeah, thank you. That is a great idea. The talking is getting out of hand in charades.
Yeah, I think it was the precedent was started by Matt Heath, who was potentially one of the worst charade performers on earth.
Which ironically makes him one of the greatest to watch.
Yes, I know. But he just, at the end of it, would just like be go, rugby, would throw a clue at them. And it's not what fucking charades is.
It's not at all. And, I blame Laura McGoldrick. She's not
enforcing it.
She's not enforcing it hard enough.
She's in the pocket of
Big Charade.
Yeah, Big Charade. They're obviously trying to get it out there, and they just can't have it shut down, I guess.
She calls it charades. And maybe in charades you're allowed to talk, but she's the only person I know who's ever called it charades. And she said, I got it from my grandmother, who's from Timaru. I was like, I fucking spent most of my life in Timaru, Waimiri. I've never heard anyone say charades before. Anyway, yeah, I agree with you. I'll try and find a ball gag and tune in.
I'll go on.
Oh, you're going?
In my
I
draw.
was really hoping you wouldn't. Tune in Thursday, 8:30 p.m, Sky Sport and Sky Open, and see if we found the ball gag or not. Another caller here. Yours, please.
G'day, boys.
Hi.
Just had a thought on the Export Ultra promos you guys do. The Export Ultra, the beer for here, it's great, but it's a bit tired. My thoughts was changing that slogan, maybe going for Export Ultra, the beer for... Oh, yeah? Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Fuck South Canterbury.
The beer for... Well, maybe we can run that competition and we can come up with a better slogan and record it for us. The EB Export Ultra, the beer for...
I mean, there's no reason you can't just start doing that. You know what I mean? No one's stopping you.
I like it.
Order every one of your Export Ultras that way.
Yeah.
see how you get on. No, I like it. Might have to run that comp over summer. Another caller here. Yours, please.
Hey, boys, just watching the cricket on Friday night, and
Fuck yeah.
the commentary is killing me.
Yeah.
Can't you do these overseas tests? Come on.
Yeah.
How hard can it be, you lazy motherfuckers?
Okay.
Anyway, you seem busy. I'll let you go. Love you, babes.
Shitty was pleased with that little bit of abuse, wasn't he? Lazy motherfuckers.
He was laughing because he knew we'd play it.
I know, that's true. It looked like, just refer to the first talk back. Yep, sorry about that.
Yep. Another call here, presumably about our cricketing rights again. Yours, please.
Santa's little helper got a fiver. Fuck you, G Lane.
I said he was our only bowler that... Anyway, whatever.
Why?
Hey,
Why? What is he...
I don't think I said anything. I said that Satner's probably the biggest threat. He's one that bowls the most pace. He's got the most height. That's why he's getting all the wickets.
Why did he say fuck you?
I don't know, Matt. I never selected
Just
anyway,
in general.
But I, on our thread, Matt Heath has just come and said we should be a nickname change for Santa's little helper.
Yeah.
Upgrade him to Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Santa Claus.
Yeah, he's not Santa's little helper anymore. He's not Santa's little helper. He is Santa Claus.
Oh man, I'm all in. Santa Claus. He's evolving.
It's a bit like the stud, which was Little Lamb Nation. Some say he looks like an alpaca.
Yeah.
And then a male alpaca is called a stud. Yeah. So he evolved from the Little Lamb Nation. Some say he looks like an alpaca into that one performance. I think it was in the Mount.
Yeah.
We renamed him the stud, but he thought it was a stud. It's like no, it's a male.
It's
alpaca.
a male alpaca. Yeah. Shit myself wrestling a stud once. I told that story at the Whanganui pub.
An alpaca though, eh?
Sure. Another call here. Yours, please.
About the buns on Tom Latham.
Oh yeah.
About time he got some fucking runs. Whatever you're doing, G Lane, keep at it. I'm calling it now. Black Caps 3, India, donut.
Nice.
Fuck everyone!
Yeah, a donut. Look, the momentum is with the Black Caps. Yeah. They're full of confidence, and India aren't. So who knows? I mean, that would be outstanding. But if it ends up being 2-1, I don't care.
If it ends up being 3-0, we need to take their test privileges away from them. Yeah, Tier 2 nation at that point.
They should come off the negotiating table
at
the ICC. And they should put something massive on the line for it, something like that.
Yeah.
We get an IPL team.
Would you be happy to put Kane Williams? Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. Would you be happy to put Kane Williamson's life on the line if we got to execute Coley?
The way he's batting at the moment, they'll probably take that.
One last caller, yours, please.
I've just realised the Black Caps have done something that not even Alexander the Great could do. That is conquer India.
Hey.
Anyway, I'll let you go. Fuck. I don't actually know who to fuck, actually. You know what? Just fuck everyone in Canterbury. From Timaru to Ashburton to Christchurch to Hemner Springs. Just screw everyone up there.
Yeah.
Arrogant pricks.
Southlander there?
Yeah, as soon as he started rolling the R's there, and then he went up there.
Yeah.
So, yes, good old Southlander. Good little bit of history buff, though, there.
What's that?
Alexander the Great.
Oh, yeah.
He couldn't conquer India.
Weren't they coming at him with rhinos and elephants and shit?
Yeah, I'd shit my pants if that was happening to me.
God, yeah. I mean, what actually could an elephant do to you in a war?
Nothing,
because you could stay away from it.
Hugely intimidating, though.
Yeah.
If you'd never seen one,
No.
imagine never seeing an elephant and then all of a sudden some massive giant cow with a long nose and big ears comes at you.
Yeah. Or a rhino, and apparently they used to like dress them up in armor, just slap them on the ass and run them off into battle. Imagine that. It's an invincible pig with a sword on the end of its nose.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about that? That would scare the piss out of me. But it didn't scare the Black Caps.
An invincible pig.
Isn't it?
Man, that'd be you, like, running away from the front line and coming back to the headquarters. What the fuck's up, Manaia? There's a huge pig! Giant pig!
They've got an invincible pig.
With a big sword on it, and a cow with a huge nose and big ears.
Fangs. It's got fangs and an arm for a nose. I've never seen anything like it. It's fucking 3 buildings high.
Someone shoot Corporal Manaia.
Private Stewart. He's gone crazy. He's shell-shocked. If you ever get the chance, pat a rhinoceros behind the ear or in the armpit. Very, very soft. Very soft.
Okay.
Take that information with you into your Tuesday afternoon. Have a productive one, and we'll see you tomorrow for another edition of the Agenda Podcast.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda Podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.